The authoritarian Labour establishment in Wales are now calling to ban GB News. Why? Because they don't like the views and opinions expressed on that channel. Well, I don't like The Guardian, but I'm not going to ban The Guardian, especially from public buildings or anywhere for that matter, really. It's people's own decisions, and self-determination is important if they want to pay attention to The Guardian weirdos. Same applies to Channel 4 News, ITV, Sky News with their opinions, and of course GB News. Now, I'm skeptical about all mainstream media, and we provide a whole new format on this channel and channels like this across the internet, new media. So we're not even really going alongside the lines of GB News or Talk TV, because they're all still part of the establishment. They are still part of the mainstream media because of not necessarily Ofcom, but everything else that it represents that dinosaur analog world view. But what we now have is that the Labour Party have been gathering their own members and assembly members in the Senate, the Welsh Assembly, to basically stand up in the chamber and start some sort of inquiry request saying, well, we should actually have a conversation, probably ban GB News in the Welsh Assembly. Okay, let's hear you guys out, because I don't think Jenny Rathbone, and considering her track record in terms of the lack of public duty, is actually the best voice to use to do this. I mean, if Jenny actually cared about her own constituents, she would listen to their constituents on various issues. But no. She doesn't care about housing. She doesn't really care about those who are skeptical about net zero agenda. She calls them names, and they don't listen to anybody. So now she's going out there saying we should have a conversation. Maybe we should just ban GB News in the Senate. Let's go to her speech.
Has many items broadcasting disinformation or hateful views, and it's currently broadcast through Senate TV on our internal televisions. So I just wondered if any thought had been given to whether it was appropriate for an organisation that might continue to disseminate disinformation to be broadcast through our systems to our staff and members.
Oh, okay. So her problem with GB News is hateful views. Well, those are just opinions. And then also misinformation. If the news reporting aspects, the segments that they have of GB News did that, I will be against it too. But when they report the news, they are quite accurate. They don't really add their opinions to the news reporting. What she's talking about is the opinion-based shows, the panel shows and discussions. That's not news. That's just debates. That's different.
On the first part of your question, I was there and I did witness myself the opportunity taken by the protesters outside to take advantage of the fact that our walls are windows and to make sure that those of us sitting inside could read their placards. That is both an advantage and a disadvantage of our
Answer a different question
and
first.
in that moment, I don't think anything could or should have been done, other than it didn't make for a particularly comfortable situation.
Yeah, that's a whole different question. Now, to GB News.
Within the Senedd at that point. Coming on to your second point is something that I haven't given any thought to at all, and I'll need to take away the issue that you've raised about GB News as a news channel. I think it's a news channel that is transmitted within the Senedd. I make no comment at all on it, actually, because I've given it no thought at all, but I will since it's been raised by you.
Just get to the point. Oh my.
Like a question.
Okay, so we've finally done it. Yeah, it's GB News, and to be fair, there's a whole different conversation to have about channels that should be news channels or just opinion-based channels. For example, Talk TV is more clear about the fact that they just talk about opinion shows and everything else. They're not really a news channel, but that's different. But seriously, the Welsh establishment, including the Assembly, the Senedd in general, they always come up with idiotic policies. It's not the first time they come to talk about, for example, censorship or things like this. This is the same establishment that decided to dish out sanitary products for men for free on taxpayers' money because some men might not be men, according to Mark Drakeford and his minions. Are you kidding me with this? Using taxpayers' money to put tampons on men's toilet? Why would you do this? How many people do you really think you have working in the Senate that would require men? I don't know if we could say men, but they're people who are naturally male to actually go to the men's toilet and use tampons. What are they using it for? Anyway, absolute idiocy. Let's take a quick break. We're gonna come back in half an hour with more updates for you guys on Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.